Welcome back, everybody. My name's MRC Core, and today we are going to be looking at more of the weapon lore in Genshin Impact. In the last one, I went through the 1 and the 2-star weapons, and now I will start to meticulously go through one weapon at a time, depending on the length of it. So you might get lucky and get like a whole row of weapons in a video. But that's generally the direction that I'm going to go. And we're going to start with the 3-star. And get through some of those. So first up, we have the Cool Steel, a reliable steel forged weapon that serves as a testament to the great adventures of its old master. And as you can see here, a sturdy steel sword forged by the method of folding. It has a dull shine with a cold glimmer. It belonged to a famous adventurer who witnessed the vastness of Earth. With it, he severed the iron bones of monsters and crossed blades with bandits. But, in the end, he gave up the vast earth, the boundless sky, his friends in the guild, his trusty Cool Steel, and old pals to be with the girl that he loved. It's actually really nice. It's very poetic. I like that. Very mindful. Very demure. Next up, we have the Harbinger of Dawn, a sword that once shone like the sun. The wielder of this sword will be blessed with a feel-good buff. The reflective material on the blade has long worn off. And as you can see, it's actually very elegantly designed. I very much like the hilt of the blade. It's a long hilt that you can grab it by. So, it is a one-handed weapon, of course. I think that's a one-handed sword. I don't think that's a claymore. But yeah, I really like that design. You can see just like a little bit of the engrain on it. Engrain? I don't really know what it's called. It's like engravements. Engravements on it. It's actually very little, just intricate things that make it just look just a little, it just gives it that nice little pop, you know? It's very nicely crafted. This sword has an extraordinary full name. The Triumphant Harbinger of Dawn that points towards victory. Only one has ever fallen by this blade on the battlefield. One night, the bearer drew the sword triumphantly. The night sky lit up as bright as day, pinpointing his precise location. Arrows rained down upon him. Ah. My man said, "Son!" And then his enemies were like, "Enemy!" And he just got absolutely blasted. Next up, we have the Traveler's Handy Sword, a much different looking sword from all of the other weapons that we have seen so far. In fact, this one is crimson, and I very much like that little edginess that the blade has. And it looks almost futuristic in somewhat of a sense, just the sleekness of the blade. And it kind of reminds me of Sokka's Meteor Sword from Last Airbender. A handy steel sword which contains scissors, a magnifying glass, tinder, and other useful items in its sheath. That's very interesting in and of itself. A reliable and balanced sword made of fine steel. The one downside is that the partial tang design renders it less durable than its full tang counterparts. That said, the partial tang creates space in the hilt for hidden knives, scissors, tinder, and other objects. Hence the name Traveler's Handy Sword. It contains all sorts of handy items for adventurers. So basically the sheath of the sword is more important than the actual sword is here. Very unique, I will say that much. Next up we have the Fillet Blade, one of the cooler looking 3-star weapons that you get in the game. It's more of a cutlass than anything else. A sharp filleting knife. The blade is long, thin, and incredibly sharp. It was said that the tickerfish was a favorite among the people of Liyue. As word caught on, somehow ticker became tiger. Now, the real tickerfish is hard to come by, but tigerfish fillets have become synonymous with delicious fish for the people of Liyue. Nice. So I guess Zhongling uses that every now and again in her restaurant. It must be really good at chopping up them big fish. And then last but not least for this video, we have the Skyrider Sword. A reliable steel sword. The legendary Skyrider once tried to ride it as a flying sword. I can't imagine that ended up going very well for them. As you see, this sword looks like trying to ride it would also result in being neutered. Or spayed? I'm not really sure what that would mean to a female wielder trying to do that. I don't really want to know. All I can imagine is it's very painful. Leap, the master swordsman Skyrider did, from the heights of Julian Karst. He pierced the clouds as the winds hollered by his ears, but what followed was the sound of bones shattering. What he had hoped for was something swordsmanship could not bring him. He pawned the sword for medicine. But die, it did not. His dream of flight. So basically, man got hopped up on drugs, jumped off a cliff, and shattered his bones, and somehow lived. He really thought he could fly on this sword. That is what I learned today. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you want to see stuff similar to this. And we're going to see all of you in the next one that we do. Take care, everybody.